Hi lovelies, you're welcome to yet another tutorial video. Once again, how are you doing? So if you're new here, you are most welcome. My name is Chichi for short, and if you're a returning subscriber, I love you. So quickly, today we are going to be drafting a basic sleeve pattern, and trust me on this channel when I tell you that I make my tutorials beginner friendly, that is for sure. So if you're a beginner or you're an advanced student, this channel is definitely for you, and also this tutorial. So without wasting much of your time, let's dive right into the tutorial. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like and comment down below. Let's get started.
In drafting this pattern, I'm going to be using half of this pattern paper, so I have to fold it into two to have it divided into two. So I rule out the midpoint, which is like so, and afterwards this is the part I'm going to be using for drafting of the sleeve. But before that, I'm going to be marking out the midpoint of what I have here. So I just place my tape ruler and automatically mark out the middle of the pattern paper. So here is the middle, and at this point guys, the light has gone off but we move. So now that I have the midpoint, the next thing I'm just going to be marking out just a little space at the upper parts, just for allowance sake. So the next thing, I'm going to be marking some points all the way down, okay, so that's the upper arm, the elbow length and all that. But before I mark the upper arm, I'm going to be marking a 4 inches length. I'm using a 4 inches length because this is not a suit sleeve, okay? So with this 4 inches, you'll be able to move your armhole freely. And please, before we proceed, I want to state this difference between these two sleeve patterns. You can see that for this one, we have the sleeve curve to be longer than the other one. So for this longer one, this is what we use when we are making a suit or a jacket sleeve. And for this other one, this is what we use for a regular sleeve. And the main difference between these two sleeve patterns is that for this other one, for the jacket sleeve pattern, you've noticed that whenever I put on your jacket, there's always this restriction to how much you can move your arm around, just like you can see me doing on your screen right now. So this restriction is caused because of the increase in the length of the upper arm that was used. But if you use this shorter one, there's going to be this freedom in the movement of your arm, okay, unlike in the other one. So I just felt I should state this difference here so that whenever you see another tutorial telling you to use 8 inches, just know the implication of what you are doing. So let's continue. And then I mark the upper arm length, the elbow length, and of course the long sleeve length, which is at the tip of the pattern paper over here. And next, I'm going to be ruling out all the points from the 4 inches length to the upper arm or the bicep length, and of course the elbow length. And next, I label them out: the bicep or upper arm, the elbow, and of course the wrist. And at this 4 inches length, what we're going to be doing at that point is to measure the upper arm round measurement, that's the bicep measurement, and then you add 1 inch to it and divide it by 2, okay? So whatever that gives, we're going to be marking them from the midpoint outward like so and to the other side. So the upper arm round measurement is 13.5 inches plus 1 inch is 14. So divide 14 by 2 will give us 7 1/4. So I mark 7 1/4 on this other side and come over to this other side and mark the same 7 1/4. And at the bicep measurement, you use exactly the bicep or upper arm round measurement divided by 2. Exactly. You don't add anything and then you mark. So that's 13 inches divided by 2. And also at the elbow length, you do the same thing. You divide the elbow round measurement by 2 and then mark that from the center line as well. That's for the elbow round measurement. And after that, we come over to the wrist measurement. You divide the wrist measurement by 2 as well, and then mark exactly what you have from the center point as well. So after that, I'm going to be connecting the point with a straight line downwards like so. Sometimes in connecting the points, one of them might not fall exactly into the other ones, but you can totally ignore that. It is insignificant. So with this, the lower part of the pattern for the sleeve is ready. Then from the midpoint, we are going to be connecting a diagonal straight line to the 4 inches length. So this is the connection from the center to the 4 inches mark, forming like a triangle. And at this point, what we are going to be doing, I'm going to be marking, differentiating the front from the back. And next, I'm going to be measuring what we have at the diagonal line on both points. So here it gave me 8.25, and then on the other side, it also gave me 8.25. So this 8.25 that we have, we're going to be dividing it into 4. So you can just press your calculator to get your division, or you just use your tape rule as well to divide. So I fold my tape rule into 2. So the half of 8.24, I have it to be 4.25, which is on this point. So this is half of the diagonal line. And further again, I divide into another 2. Remember, we are dividing it into 4. So I place my tape rule again, dividing dividing the 4.25 into 2 to give me what I have at this point. So I have my 4 divisions on both the front and the back part as well. So you can see we have 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Okay, so that is what we have at both points. So next, what we are left with is the sleeve curve, but let me mark out this point to make it more visible. So at this our first division, I'm going to be coming up by 0.625. so in case you do not know, this is where the 0.625 is. After your half inch, the next shortest line is your 0.625. okay, so I place it on that first division, that's the first upper division. I mark 0.625 and I come to the last one as well. I come downwards by 0.625. okay, that's for the front. And then for the back, this our last division, I further divide it into 2 again. So can you see I've placed my table into 2, and then this is the midpoint of the last division for the back. And to mark out the points for the curves for the back part, at this upper division as well, I come up by 0.625 like I did to the front. And then at this our last division here, this point, I come down by 0.25. okay, so 0.25, the iron on my table has covered it. So let me start my measurement from 1. So this is 0.25. so that's the point exactly. So the next thing, I'll be connecting all the points together. So you can do this with your free hand or you use a curve rule, whichever one that is convenient for you. But I'll first of all be tracing it out with my free hand, then we'll compare with our curve rule. So I'm connecting this point to this point and down to the other part. So this is it, the upper point to the lower point and down to the tip. And then for the back, I do the same thing. I connect from the upper point, connect it to the midline, and then down to the 0.25 and then to the tip. That's it. So I'm going to be comparing this, my freehand curving, with my curve rule. So I connect from the center upper part to the midpoint. You can see it gave me exactly, and then to the lower 0.625, and then to inserting into the armhole area. Can you see that? And I'm going to be doing the same thing to the back, from the upper part across the 0.625 to the midpoint, and then downwards to the 0.25 and also into the armhole. So with this, you can see we have our sleeve curve ready. So as you can see, this is for a whole sleeve, so you can use it for your short sleeve, for your 3/4 sleeve, and also for your long sleeve as well. So we'll be cutting out our pattern paper, and then I'll show you how to use it on your fabric. Please consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed. Give this video a like and also comment in the comment section. So with this, we have our sleeve pattern ready. Like I stated, you can use this for your short sleeve, which is here. This is for your elbow length, and the 3/4 at this point, and then your long sleeve. So this can serve for any length of sleeve, even a cap sleeve. Okay, so in cutting it out on a fabric, please permit me, I'm going to be using this piece of fabric. Like I already trashed it, but I was like, why waste this fabric? Okay, since it can cut this sleeve, so that's why I'm using these pieces. Pardon that, I'm not using it for any dress. So I place the pattern paper on the piece of fabric like so. As you can see, I'm going to be marking out the allowances on the fabric. And for the allowances, I'm going to be starting with the side. I'm going to be adding 1/2 inch to the side. You can use 1 just in case you are skeptical about your seam allowances. So I mark out 1/2 inch on both sides of the pattern paper, after which I extend the armhole curve to meet the 1/2 inch on both sides. So I have that, and then I rule out the 1/2 inch. So this is the 1/2 inch extension, that's for the seam allowances on both sides. So at the lower part of the sleeve, that's the sleeve edge, I'm adding 1 inch to that. You can add more depending on what you want over there. So for this sleeve curve area, I'm first of all going to be marking out exactly on what I have. You can see that I did not add anything. So I have the shape exactly. So at that point, what I'm going to be doing, so at the midpoint here, I come up by 1/2 inch. So this is for me to get the shape exactly. And then I shift the pattern paper to meet that 1/2 inch, and then I curve again from that 1/2 inch. So you can see, and then I extend the armhole area like so. So with that, you can see I have my 1/2 inch perfectly curved out. So this is what it looks like. So the next thing is for me to cut out what I have for my sleeve. So this is what I have as my sleeve block. So this is what it looks like, and easily differentiate the front from the back. But just in case you are not able to do that, you should be able to notch one part, either the front or the back. So this is me notching the front part to know which is the front when I'm attaching it to the armhole of the dress. So guys, this is how you go about the basic pattern drafting of your sleeve pattern and block. Thank you guys for watching and see you in my next one. Bye.